Hi, this is Ingram Jones from the Buddy Grant Centre at the moment. I am with Judith Jacob.
That's me.
Good afternoon, Judith. How are you?
Good afternoon, Ingram. I am absolutely fantastic. The sun is shining, so one is feeling great.
Thank you for agreeing to do the interview.
No problems.
So, I know who you are, but tell the audience who you are.
Okay, well, as I said, my name is Judith Jacob and I'm an actress. I've been an actress for, a lot of years. I started when I was 13, my very first job with the BBC. I was still at school, and I left school at 17 to do when I then became a professional full-time actress for a series called Angels, which is a nurses series.
Okay, and then after that?
After Angels, I left Angels and then I started in theatre for the first time with Black Theatre Co-op, which is what it was called then. It's changed its name to Nitro later.
Okay.
And then I done, it's a bit noisy in the background there. And then I did plays the first time, which was great.
Yep.
Then we devised a series called No Problem, which was myself and loads of other people who was also part of Black Theatre Co-op. And I loved that. That wasn't like working, that was being with my friends, and that was fantastic.
Tell me a bit more about No Problem, because I remember as a youth, No Problem, and it was a very good show. So tell me a bit more about it.
See, we devised it. We had to come up with some ideas, and the person who gave us the characters and what our characters were about was Fumi. She was called Chopin then, but she's changed her name to Fumi, and she was the one that played the model Terry. Well, the model, the big model. Yeah. She was the one that gave us all of our names, which was amazing. I mean, up till yesterday, I was called Sensimilia.
Wow. So
Sensimilia, Toshiba, Bellamy, Terry, and Angel was the family. Then you had Beastie, who was Malcolm Fredericks, who was the boyfriend of Terry, who just always was wheeling and dealing from Trinidad, you know?
Oh, great. Trinidad, you mean?
You know, I love doing the Royal Mcoy, and I've loved doing lots and lots of shows, but No Problem was my first job that I was working with my friends, and it was the best.
To work with your friends? Oh, what more could you want?
Yeah, really, really cool.
So you talked about the Royal Mcoy, and you were in EastEnders.
And I was in EastEnders. I've done EastEnders before the Royal Mcoy.
Okay, so tell me more about EastEnders.
Well, the woman that produced it, there's two of them, was Tony Holland and Julia Smith, and they also produced Angels.
Okay.
So I wasn't in EastEnders when it first started. I remember sitting there watching it thinking, and I just had my daughter, and so I wasn't really up for working at that time. And then I got a phone call from Julia Smith to my agent saying, would Judith be interested in joining the cast? So I didn't have to audition. I was asked if I wanted to join the cast.
Wow.
Yes! That's how I want my life to be.
Ding, ding,
yeah. And I said, let me think about this. It took me like 2 seconds. And I said, yeah, sure. And then a year later, they wanted to bring my brother in who had a family.
Right.
And they wanted to know if I wouldn't mind using my daughter, who was 2 at the time. And I was really thinking about having another child in there, because I didn't really know if I wanted my daughter in that environment. And then I thought, 2-year-olds are such a horrible age to work with. I might as well have my own daughter, because then I can pinch her and tell her, shut up, and it's my own child. So I can be as horrible or as nice as I wanted to, because she is my daughter. And actually, that was a good move to have her there, because I got to spend some time with her, and her dad was the chaperone, so it just felt very family oriented. Wicked.
Royal Mcoy, it was a big show. There was one character. Was it Idiot Man? Or?
Idiot Man. There was 2 Idiot Man and Damn
Fool Man and Idiot Man. Idiot
that
Boy.
Was before my time, because that was Curtis Walker and Ishmael, and they were amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I've been really lucky in my career. I've been involved in shows that end up being big names at the end of it, like No Problem. People still talk about it because it was new at the time. Not new to black actors in the show, but it was new where it came from. It was ours. We devised it, so it was very topical. We weren't frightened to do and say things because we could. And the Royal Mcoy was like that. We had Leo Muhammad and Mira Sayal, I will always big up till I die, because they are very political people, but can be funny with their politics, which is very difficult. And you know, Robbie G is an amazing performer, and he managed to capture anybody he played. You believed he was that person. Leo, also, he's a stand-up. He's not an actor, but he managed to portray a fantastic cast of people, and I was just blessed to be one of those people involved in that show.
I've got to ask the question, why is the Real McCoy not on television anymore?
And I swear, if I just get 1 penny for every time people have said that, I would be an extremely rich woman. Who knows why they took it off?
Why did they pull it? They must have given you a reason why they pulled it.
No, we weren't told anything. They just wasn't doing another series. Leo thinks it might be because of him. His profile as a Nation of Islam is becoming higher, and he feels it could have been because of him. They should have just got rid of him, innit? And they brought us back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't mean that, Leo. I love you. But people say it's a lot, and I think that not necessarily Real McCoy, but even if it was Real McCoy, but you bring in other actors, new blood, because I really want our young people to tell their stories as well. Our stories are still there to be told, but to just get another voice there and see how much has changed or not. And the sad thing would be if it's not changed very much to me, but it'd be good to just hear their voices, then we can say, wow, really, that's still going on, which we sort of know.
To me, I look at television, I don't watch it much. I mean, there's stuff like The Only Way is Essex and all this sort of stuff, but there's nothing for me that represents us.
No.
I mean, like, you know, you had Blouse and Skirts, Desmond's.
The 80s was amazing, early 90s.
And now, look at turn TV on the wall, there's nothing that represents our community. It really isn't.
No.
I mean, there's still got EastEnders, and they've still got, what's his gentleman's name? The guy from Trinidad, Rudolph Walker, is in it.
Walker, yes,
and a few others there. But I mean, it doesn't really give you any real...
I think what's happened is that we now assimilate. And because we are being casted in major shows, which they didn't used to do very much before, because they're now casting 2 actors, 2 black or African Caribbean people in a show, we are now being represented. Yes. So we don't need our programs. Now, you know, I'm not saying this meaning that we shouldn't, because we should. Of course we should. Of course we should. Only because when there's dramas on TV, when it's only white people in it, they don't say, oh, well, look, it's only white program. No, it's not even thought about. It is what it is. We got shows, and I know that we've been lots of ideas being presented, because myself with the BB crew have presented ideas. I know that Eddie and Robbie G and Eddie Lester have presented ideas. I know people have presented ideas. I do know that it would be helpful if we had a white person representing us and saying that they would like to do a black show. And I'm thinking maybe we should just get someone to just front it and just say, look, he says, let him go in front. We've written it, we've done it all. We'll just put them there, front, and then they'll find it more acceptable. Sad stage.
What about? I mean, I remember when BET was on. It was quite a station that was quite. It's I know people still watch it, but it's not the same as it used to be in terms of the exposure that BET used to have, and there was lots of shows of that you'd watch, and a lot of the stuff I'm seeing now, it's got a lot of the American influence. What do you think about the American influence in terms of our culture and here and being the Afro-Caribbeans?
I think it's always been thus. We've always had more African-Caribbeans, American shows than we've had here, and they've always led the way, and they've got this thing, haven't they, that you must use X amount of black people, and they still do black shows, probably not as much as they used to. And if they're not doing as much as they used to, you know that we've drowned it down here with nothing whatsoever. Because if they're not, then it's really sad.
Yes.
I do know there's a couple of projects. I don't know what they're about, but I've heard there's a couple of projects out there which is a mainly black cast. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to me being in one of them as well.
So what are your plans for the future?
I have a show, my own live chat show called Judith Jacob Yabba Yabs with Friends.
Wicked.
And I haven't done any this year because I've been writing with the BB crew, which we've got a bag of ideas that we're trying to write, so that when we present one idea, they go, oh, what we were really looking at was this. We go, oh, really? Well, we've got that. And then they go, well, what we meant was this. We go, oh, well, funny you said that, because we've got this.
That as well.
So what we want to do is have a bag of ideas.
No excuses.
No excuses. That's right. Back ourselves up. And I've just started on an internet radio, soulukradio.co.cc, which is www. obviously.
Okay.
And that was set up by a young guy called Merlin Emmanuel, who is the nephew of Smiley Culture.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So he is the CEO. And I've just started on a Saturday. I've done 4 shows so far, 2 till 4 on a Saturday. It's a totally new experience. I'm not really the DJ. What I do is I feature 2 to 4 artists any week.
Okay.
And I just talk about them, play their music, and give you a bit of history about them. I intend to do a bit of nutrition and health and fitness because I do train, and that's one of my big things. And I'd like to get a few artists in that I can interview. So that's what I want my show to be about. It won't be just about playing music. It'll be about chatting about the arts and health and fitness.
Fantastic. So, tell me, in an ideal world, what would you be doing now?
In an ideal world, I will be sitting in my trailer, resting in between the set because I've just been doing this action movie. And so I'd have to rest a little bit. Now I need to do it before I'm like 60. So,
hint!
Yeah, exactly. You know, the next year or 2 will be fantastic. I'm still peaking. And I'll be the action heroine, whatever, fighting. I don't have to be like a real goody-goody, but she is a good person, just that you may not understand her straight away because I want it to be direct.
Okay.
You know, her humour isn't necessarily got straight away, but she's humorous, but hard, and she'll save people.
When I do my interviews, I always like to ask people who've been in their industry or their profession for a while, their views and opinions about things that are probably not as difficult subjects to talk about. And one of those topics I've got to talk to you about is being a black actress in the UK, and whether you'd come across any difficulties and how you overcame those difficulties.
Okay, well, when I was younger, I was so blinkered I didn't notice anything. And when you're working, you just see you working, so life is fabulous. And also, I never realised when people were being racist to me because I'm so blinkered, I don't notice it. And it's only after I've done jobs and after I've been in different situations and I thought, almost like 6 months later, I'll go, hold on a minute, is that what that person said to me? And I said nothing. And then you beat yourself up. An example was I was working on a show, and the lady, she was the producer of the show, she'd sat down, it was just myself as the only black person at that time, and there was all other white women there. And she goes, all talking about other fantasy and what they'd love. And then she said, what her idea would be to be lying in the Caribbean, somewhere hot, being fanned by pickaninnies. And I said, and then all the white people was like this. And I was like, that's fine, you know. And it didn't occur to me, pickaninnies being fanned by pickaninnies. What? Sorry? But that was her ideal world, so you couldn't knock that. And there's been other things that's happened that I don't notice straight away. I am very blinkered.
Blinkered, maybe it's because you're focused on what you do. You're not looking. There are people who look for those things. I've got, I'm black and then I'm in a white environment. I've got to be careful. I've got to be wary. There are people like that. There are other people who said, you know what? I just love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I just want to get out and do the best I can with it.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's what's happened with you. You've gone out and just want to do the best you can do.
Yeah.
But there's always other people who don't have your best interests at heart. But
I think you should be aware. Even if I say nothing, I want it to be a conscious me not saying nothing. Not that it just went right over my head like some bimbo. I don't even notice it. So it would be good to be a little bit more aware. And I have got better. When we were on EastEnders, we had an incident. There was a script. It was nothing to do with me, not my scene at all. It was a Gary McDonald's scene. And there was an actress in there, and she had to say, I've always wondered why the palms of black people's hands are so white and their skin's black.
Ouch.
And I thought, is she talking about a monkey? What is this? Where does this line come from? And I said to Gary, I took Gary aside and I said, I'm really not happy about this line, and I know it's not about me and it's your scene, but I want to say something, but we need to have a bottom line, and we need to know that if they say we're not prepared to cut the line, what are we prepared to do? And he said, it's your call, what do you want to say? I said, I'm just saying that if they say they're going to sack us, we need to be prepared to be sacked. And he said, right, whatever. So I took the producer aside and I said to her, look, I'm not happy about this line. She said, what's the line, Judith? I said, this. She said, okay, let me watch it because the producer's run. She came back to me, she says, okay, we'll cut it. And we didn't have to get sacked. Wow! So that was amazing because it was the first time I actually empowered myself. Because if you're going to take a stand, you need to know how far you're going to go with your stand.
Okay.
And it's not that I wanted to be sacked. I just didn't want to be uncomfortable because I was aware of it. And if I've become aware of it, I have to do something.
You basically didn't want to sell your soul out, basically, and you know, you weren't prepared to accept nonsense. You stood up for what you believed in. And a lot of people, especially in today's society, will take the money and still be abused.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some. I think there's some. If I'm so insecure and rubbish about noticing things, and I did it, I'm sure there'd be a lot more people that would do it too.
How do you feel that characters or black characters are portrayed in East Indian stage? Do you think they are a true reflection of our community?
I think it's great that they've got such a variety of black characters in there. The shame is that because we don't see enough of ourselves, we want the ones that we see to be the be-all and end-all and the greatest person, but we're not all like that. There's some really horrible human beings out there that happen to wear our colour skin. So we are as varied as any other nation. It's just that we don't get enough representation, so we get upset. But I think they've done a great job. You know, EastEnders gets a lot of slack, but they're the only ones that's continuously brought in black characters in different ways and forms. I don't watch Emmerdale Farm. I don't know who the black people are in that.
Is there?
Exactly. I don't watch it, so I don't know. I know that Coronation Street is going to be bringing in a black female, but I don't know if she's... You see, I've not seen, in Coronation Street, I haven't seen black women that looks like me. I've seen mixed race women, but I've never seen any black women like myself. Right. I don't really watch Corrie heavily, but I do see the pictures that they put out. I just haven't seen ones that look like me.
That's true.
So I'm hoping that the new character that's a woman isn't going to be another mixed race woman.
How about something like The Only Way is Brixton or The Only Way is Tottenham?
Well, wouldn't that be great? I don't watch those stuff like Essex and
no, I don't
Chelsea
need
stuff.
No, it doesn't resonate with me. Or
there's nothing in there that I want to see.
No.
I am a huge TV addict. I will watch Big Brother. I will watch X Factor. I will watch The Voice. I will watch EastEnders. In fact, my man gets annoyed at me, thinks that I don't have the spot on the chair is shaped for my bottom.
Wow.
I watch sports as well. I love tennis and I love athletics and stuff.
I've got to mention, obviously, being from the Tottenham area, the riots. How did that impact you? A year on?
It made me a bit sad because it was our area, and I think when it happens, whenever a riot happens, you destroy the area that you live in. That's always sad. But what's also sad is that we do have youths. This is why I want the youths to tell their stories, who are still being stopped by police. And so we are repeating when we had the riots the first time. Really? We are still doing this?
I had a conversation yesterday with David Michael, who's the chief inspector, or who was, and former chief inspector for the Metropolitan Police. I spoke to him about stop and search, and he mentioned that at one point there was a lot of pressure on the police to stop as many blacks as possible.
Really?
Yeah. That was part of their quota, they had to reach a certain quota. That isn't so much the case now, but he said there are ways that you can go about tackling the situation. Go to your local MP, you can go to a local police station and make complaints about it, go to a solicitor. And
I wish that we can educate our youth to do more of that, because my nephew is so fed up of being stopped. He's totally fed up of it now. He's 18 and he's been stopped since he was 13.
I mean, I had an incident happen recently. I went away on a holiday. I went for a few days away to visit a friend in Belfast. Now, I've got into the Scotland, which is fine. I went by train all the way there. I was going to cross over to go by the ferry, and we went for the security. Of course, not would have liked. I was the only black person there, so all these people gone through. So, sir, can you step aside, please, sir? So I said, all right. And they said to me, oh, so, why are you here? Well, I've got a British passport, so I'm going to visit a friend for a day or a couple of days. Oh, how long for? Just a few days. That's it. I think I thought I was entering America or something.
Yes.
And we went, oh yeah. Oh, so what do you do for a living? I said, oh well, I do various things, but one of the things I do is cricket development. Oh, cricket, right. He went, oh yeah. We stopped a black guy last week. Yeah, he's from the Caribbean. Yeah. And then the week before we stopped a Pakistani.
Oh, and they're blatantly saying this, they don't even check it, do they?
And I thought, oh, hold on a second. But and I just laughed and I took off and I went away. I sat down waiting for my ferry now. And I looked across and I was the only person that had been stopped. And I stood for half an hour waiting for my ferry and nobody else got stopped. And I'm thinking to myself,
and they don't even see it's blatant, and they don't even need to apologise.
And I think to myself, if I was another man, I would have kicked up and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Of course.
And then they would say, "All right, son, you're nicked."
That's right. They set you up, wind you up, because it's annoying. When we came back from Jamaica. It was myself, my man, and my daughter we had, and I watched how they're going to stop us. We knew it. They stopped ourselves, and they stopped another black guy. They let all the white people through. And I said to them, I was so angry. I said, that's right, stop us. I said, I knew you were going to stop us before you stopped us. I said you're going to stop us. I said you're going to stop the other black guy. I said, the funny thing is, we know you're going to stop us, so we're not going to walk with weed. Even if we did smoke it, we wouldn't walk with it. You see all those white people walking past, they've got their bag full of it right now. If you saw the white people, they were so frightened. They were rushing through, of course. I was really mad. We know we're going to be stopped. We wouldn't be carrying extra stuff because we know we're going to be stopped. So they're letting all the white people go through. I said to them, the next time I will walk with my white friend, give them all my shit to carry because I know you're not stopping them. Oh, well, that's not a very good attitude. I said, no, and nor is it a very good attitude of you making it obvious who you're stopping.
Touche. Judith, it's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you.
Do you have a Twitter page?
I do.
Okay.
JJ Yabbas is my handle.
Okay. Can you spell that for me, please?
J, the letters.
Yes.
YABBAS.
Judith, it's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you, Ingram. All the best.
Bye.